What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro Duel video. A new Dark Magician fusion monster was revealed I believe yesterday. It's already up on YgoPro. The card is actually quite fantastic support for Dark Magicians. It somewhat solves their problem of being vulnerable to back row disruption. Like when it's on the field it's being considered as a Dark Magician, and at the same time your opponent cannot target any of your back row or destroy it. Again, very good. But you know, the downside is that the easiest way of getting this card on board is with Eye of Timaeus, and you know, Eye of Timaeus is sadly not searchable, so it's kind of random. You have to hard draw into Eye of Timaeus to get this card on board. Then again, this is more like a... I have two builds ready, by the way. This is a more turbo-ish version with Destrudo, with, you know, yeah, Ancient Fairy Dragon, etc. being the dragon type needed. Fusion, the fusion field spell, Fusion Sage, I believe it's called, to banish the materials, to, you know, fusion summon your, yeah, your boss monster, right? But again, the core problem of Dark Magicians is not really solved. Again, it's very, heavily vulnerable to disruption, like get rid of the Magician's Circle and then pretty much the deck can fall apart, right? There is a small Tomahawk, I believe, engine, can I call it an engine, here in the extra deck. I also have one of the replays ready for that, but two replays here for the turbo-ish version. It's not that hard to get it off. You only need access to Elemental Hero Prisma to have that Dark Magician on the field, and your terraforming or your Dragon's Ravine. Do you know, set up Destrudo, again something Destrudo is involved. And then, yeah, you need a normal summonable monster in the form, it doesn't really matter, since you know Destrudo does give you access to any level 7 synchro monster. The big upside to this is that, you know, if you have your Dragon Master Knight on the field, together with your Eternal Soul, you have something like a soft lock going, since again, Eternal Soul protects every Dark Magician on the field, well, on your side of the field, from card effects, right? So, okay, that's cool, but you know, Kaijus are still a very, very easy out to do that. Then again, Eternal Soul can reborn any Dark Magician from your graveyard, and the fusion monster, your, yeah, your Dragon Knight is considered being a Dark Magician, so that's good. You can special summon it to your regular monster zone after. It's like Kaiju, right? So that's definitely the advantage. Then again, a turbo-ish version like this, it's still very vulnerable to hand traps, do disruption. If you don't start, what can you do against your opponent's back row, right? So it's still, I think it's very much, at least, too risky to take this kind of build into a tournament. And something for the deck list, at least this particular list, is that I want to, you can play cards like Set Rotation, which I also played, but at least my starting point for this list is just make a regular Dark Magician deck, and then maybe add in those few cards, like maybe Destrudo, yeah, the small Destrudo package, to, you know, have the option to make, or at least go for that first turn fusion summon, to, you know, get some back row protection, but not sacrifice any of the consistency of Dark Magicians. And you know that Dark Magicians is kinda like already a very vulnerable deck, not super consistent. I mean, it's heavily dependent on their continuous spell on Magician's Circle, and if your opponent has any kind of Galaxy Cyclone, Twin Twister, Heavy Dust Storm, I believe, or Heavy Storm Duster, you know, that new Twin Twister. Yeah, Dark Magicians can't really do anything, right? Or at least it's a very slow deck. Here, everything goes well. Okay, the opponent can like Kaiju it multiple times, but again, you can easily reborn it with your Eternal Soul. So that's definitely one of the advantages, but still, it's not super consistent, so that's why I prefer something quote-unquote normal. And you know, Eye of Timaeus. Eye of Timaeus is still the quote-unquote the best way to get this fusion monster on board, but again, Eye of Timaeus, for some reason, that Konami decided not to make it searchable off of something like Magician's Circle. Bit sad about that, but that's how it is, right? Another example, I get to start Magician's Rod. Yeah, I believe this is a fairly standard Dark Magician list, bar, of course, the Eye of Timaeus as well. I get to start Rod. Immediately opening with Rod is definitely very nice. I opt, at least the reason why I prefer this deck is, of course, consistency. It's much more consistent compared to the previous builds, and okay, you can focus on getting out that fusion monster, but still, it's still very vulnerable to hand traps or any form of other disruption and destruction, that is. Magician's Navigation, I believe the name is, it gets a ghost, gets Ash Blossomed indeed. That's fine though, normal summon rod to get a search, and this should be a game over. GG, well played. Okay, against True Dracos, we know Masterpiece is still at 3 in the current TCG format, and Masterpiece being legal and being unaffected by, let's say, traps, that's a big problem for Dark Magicians to get over. Then again, they do have like and it's confirmed being reprinted, that new Apprentice Illusion Magician, I believe the name is. But yeah, it's still, it's not enough against like an established Masterpiece with some back row or disruption, right? Yeah, the one Knight and Sorcerer is still in the deck. You know, you can go for Beelze, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of good. Beelze against any true Draco deck is especially very nice. Okay, he just yeah, during his first turn he got too many at least too much advantage. So for me it's very hard to get rid of that. The one of Ignis Heat is all fine. I believe during my first turn I forgot the Dark Monsters effect, that you can know at any point when a monster effect is activated. After that, none of the player's monsters can activate their effects. I try to recover, but again, he flashes his Blossom, and yep, that's GG, well played, right? Yeah, there are no Cyclones here in the deck. Maybe you want to play some back row removal because of this, and yeah, because of the reasons. Yeah, True Draco with Invoked is still, at least it's definitely the best deck of the upcoming TCG format. But still, with all the reprints coming, Dark Magician it's kind of cool. But again, the new support, this new fusion monster doesn't really solve it, right? Okay, again, I get to start. This is very, very nice. Okay, Apprentice Illusion Magician, get a Search, double Eternal Soul, the one Ash Blossom in the hand. Okay, very nice. The opponent does go for Desires, immediately reveal the Blossom to negate that one. That's good. Okay, the Fairy Tale Luna, it's not that big of a threat. Same for the upcoming, what is it called? Oh my god, the name. Decode Talker. Okay, I'm going to flip over Eternal Soul to get rid of that Decode Talker. I probably maybe should have waited until the end phase, but still, 2 sets aren't really that big of a problem. I don't control Dark Magician, so it would be good to, you know, search out a possible Dark Magic attack to blow in my opponent's back row. I go for the normal summon first. Maybe I should have gone for the Exceed, but this, by going for the normal summon first, I run into Strike. I can go for the rank 7 Exceed, and I go for Tomahawk. That's good. This is like, well, I don't think it's new, but something cool, I guess. Okay, get rid of all the tokens, and then now upgrade, use the whole Tomahawk package that's in the extra deck to go for both Proxy Dragon and Firewall Dragon. It's somewhat easy, only needs 2 level 7 monsters to go for Tomahawk, and then any regular monster, effect monster on the field. It can be like a Rod, yeah, an Apprentice Illusion Magician, any form of effect monster to make Decode Talker eventually, and then you can use your Firewall's Dragon's effect to, you know, get something like your Ash Blossom back to the hand, and Proxy Dragon on your side of the field, and of course Firewall opening up more extra deck spaces, or at least extra monster zones, right? This is cool. Get the Dark Magician on board again, keeping the flow going. And now having access to the second copy of Dark Magician, and that lets me go for game, I believe. Yeah, indeed. Over 7k, if I'm not mistaken. And here is going to be the... I mean, it's cool, the Tomahawk engine. Is it needed? Probably not. Maybe a bit situational. But it's okay, I guess. Definitely. If you have the option, main phase 2... why not, right? You can make some nice fields, give you some extra monster zones, and if you can go for the fusion summon with Eye of Timaeus, you have the extra monster zones ready. True Dracos, that's all fine. His setup though wasn't really the best, but again I ran into an Ash Blossom. That's not too great. Triple Dark Magician in the hand, Allure of Darkness, getting some nice draws, and have access to Dark Magic Circle and both Eternal Soul and Magician's Navigation, I believe the TCG name is. But again, Masterpiece is just too big of a threat. I tried to banish one of his monsters, but again he still has his field spell to, you know, search the appropriate card. He needed to get the Masterpiece on board, and I believe Masterpiece is unaffected by spells and traps, and again, good move on his part. At least, I'm not really sure why the Eternal Soul is not destroyed. I believe it did target it, or was I wrong? But in the long run, it's not going to matter too much. Get a search, I believe search Eternal Soul, but it's not going to matter again. Solemn Strike is useless against the Masterpiece here in this case. I do reveal my Eternal Soul a little bit too quickly. Maybe I should have just hoped that he either, activate this Masterpiece, he misses the Eternal Soul, but yeah, that's not going to happen, right? So eventually the last example, Dark Magicians against, I believe again, Kaijus. Kaijus is, everyone and their mother are running Kaijus, right? And if you're playing the fusion-oriented build for that new Dragon Master Knight, it's just easy to get rid of the field with the Kaiju. Then again, you can easily reborn it with your Eternal Soul, so that's okay. That's fine, I guess. Normal Summon Rod, get some nice draws with the Desires. Desires is risky, but I still think those 2 extra draws, especially for something tier 2ish like Dark Magician, maybe even less than that, I think the 2 draws can definitely help. The End-Phase Scapegoat is all fine. Yeah, again, the problem of not getting your Dark Magician on board first turn, you can't make that fusion summon first turn unless you're, what is it called? You know, it's a spell card, I forgot its name, that lets you special summon, like a dark spellcaster immediately from your hand. Dark Magic Veil, I think that's the name, you know, it's in the side deck here, but again, it's something definitely for the main deck, but I don't really like it that much. Okay, I can get some nice circulation going with multiple Dark Magicians. Dark Magic Circle indeed. Eternal Soul protects the Dark Magician monsters against something like Fairy Tail Luna. So again, there finally Eye of Timaeus took over the Fusion Monster, and the Fusion Monster does negate, at least does prevent my opponent from, I believe, targeting any kind of back row, unless it got errated or its card text got changed, but it should protect my whole back row. That's good, definitely very good, but still very vulnerable to disruption, as I mentioned multiple times. Okay, the Kaiju does get rid of my Fusion Monster, but Eternal Soul is still on the field to reborn the Dark Magician and eventually attack for a game. So both these builds, try them out. Again, feel free to leave feedback. I'm definitely up for that. Guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. YgoPro out. Peace.